Scott, thank you for joining us. Home game this weekend to look forward to against Harrogate Town. Can I get your thoughts ahead of that one?
Yeah, tough game. You know, they're quite good away from home. Actually, you know, they've picked up some really good results away from home. So we know it's going to be a tough game. I watched them yesterday and Tuesday against Swindon, which was their last game, and they played really, really well in that game and probably deserved more than what they got. They drew the game 1-1 and missed some big chances, but very, very good on the day. They passed it quite nicely, but they had a kind of an energy about them, you know. So Simon's got them playing really well at the moment. So yeah, we know it's going to be a tough game.
Yeah, and a very different game perhaps to the one at Barrow. Obviously, we're hoping for better conditions, a better playing surface, and potentially a chance for us to sort of get back to playing the way we like to play.
Yeah, no, we like being at home anyway. You know, the pitch is good here, obviously better than what we played on Saturday. But it is what it is. We've got to go to these places and we've got to play these games, and we can't moan about it. We just got to get on with it. But now we're pleased that we're at home. Players are looking forward to it.
Yeah, and our home record is so impressive. I think we figured it out the other day. We've picked up points in 20 of our last 25 home fixtures, which is up there with the best in the EFL. Do you think there's any particular reason? I know you've spoke to us before about how this is such a tough place to come. You're near the pitch as players, you know, you're getting it from the fans. Is there any particular reason you think we are so good at home?
Our crowd. You know, our crowd are brilliant at home. I'm not saying they're not away, because they are. They travel really well and make a lot of noise when we play away from home, but the crowd at home are brilliant. You know, and it's a tight-knit ground, as you say. The pitch is always good here. You know, I remember coming here as the Swindon manager and found it a hard place to play. And I've said that before. It is a difficult place to come as an opposition manager and a team. But no, it is just literally the crowd and the stadium and the pitch. It all helps, and we feel comfortable here. You know, we do our meetings in our dressing room, and we have a real kind of togetherness. We just feel at home, you know, when we're at home. Obviously, you know, we just feel really comfortable here. Whilst we know that our away form needs to be improved, I still think that we've picked some valuable points up away from home at some tough places, like we've mentioned before. You know, Stockport, there's not many teams who are going to go there and get anything. We got a point there and potentially could have come away with all three. Walsall was a tough kind of game that night, and we come away with a point. Salford, not many teams are going to go there and get, you know, many points really. And of course Grimsby away was a good 3 points, you know, and we obviously want to improve on that. But no, at home we've been brilliant.
It's a clear week in the build-up to this fixture, which is, I suppose, exactly what you want after doing our longest journey of the season. How's the squad come through the week as we prepare for the weekend?
Yeah, good. Unscathed, which is important. So we've not got any more injuries to add to what we had anyway. So that's important. We've had a good week on the training ground. We had a good meeting early part of the week, which was always important to debrief the game and look at where we can improve. So that was all positive in many ways. So now we're in a good place. The players seem to have a real good spirit about them, and we're looking forward to the game on Saturday.
And finally, for me, just some clarification. I'm sure there's perfect reasoning for that. Perhaps fans don't understand about the Wimbledon fixture being moved. Could you sort of give any more clarification on as to why that was moved?
Yeah, I think, listen, there's a lot of games in quick succession over the Christmas period. You know, there's ridiculous amount of games in that small period, and we felt that it would probably give the supporters a game under the lights, which they enjoy, and we know, giving them kind of probably a Saturday and Sunday to go do their shopping. But also from a football point of view, the recovery side of things, I think was important that we had that extra day recovery going into the next game. So that was the main thing from a football point of view.
Thanks, Scott.
Thank you.
It worked out better for me the Friday night, so that's good. Thank you. Going back to Saturday, don't want to linger on it too long, but obviously you were very angry after the game about the refereeing performance.
Was I?
Where do you think we are with the standard of refereeing in League Two, and do you think they should be accountable when there are big decisions that affect results of games?
Where do I think we are with this standard of refereeing? I think that we're a way off where we want to be, for sure. That's me just being honest. I think that we're a way off where we need to be. And I think most managers, and probably governing kind of bodies, you know, in the refereeing department side of things would probably agree. I think we're not where we want to be. However, we do realise that it's difficult to recruit and make sure that there's a good healthy number coming through from a refereeing point of view. So we know it's difficult, but you know, I think it needs to be improved definitely. And do there needs to be any accountability? Yes, I think there probably does. But we don't want to hit them with a stick. You know, I think we have to be fair that we are human beings. We all make mistakes, and there does need to be some accountability for sure. And I'm not sure there probably is at the moment.
Yeah, fair enough. Looking at Harrogate, you just mentioned earlier that they're good away from home. What is it that you've seen that makes them good away from home?
I think they've just got a kind of a real good work ethic. You know, you saw them. They've had some really good away results, and I watched them at home against Swindon last Saturday, at length yesterday and Tuesday. And I thought they were really good in the game. I thought they would probably deserve to win the game, you know, on reflection with the chances that they had as well. They had a real energy about them and pressed really hard and fast up the pitch and made it really difficult for Swindon. Swindon couldn't get into the rhythm. And they were very good on the day. I thoroughly enjoyed watching them, actually. I thought they played with a real energy. And I think they've got that. I think Simon's kind of created that work ethic amongst his team, and you know, they've done well, and they've had some really good away victories. So we know it's going to be a tough game.
Yeah, and looking at the league table, you're 5 points off the playoffs. On the flip side, 20th place is just 5 points below you. I mean, does that just testament how tough this league is?
It does, but after 17 games, if I'd have said to you, we're going to be 5 points off the playoffs with a game in hand, we're going to be above Salford, MK Dons and Bradford, and we're going to be on the same points as Swindon. If I'd have said to you that at the start of the season, you'd have snapped my hand off, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, you know, we're doing great. We're doing brilliant in actual fact. I think that we're learning on the job. Players are learning on the job. You know, we've got some young players, some players who've come out of non-league, some players who was in the league but kind of third and fourth choice in their position at the club they've come from. And we've got to recognise that these players are kind of learning on the job, and we're very much trying to win as many points as we can on a Saturday and a Tuesday. And when we play, you know, it's important that we try and get as many points as we can. So it is a results industry that we're in, but we're also trying to make these players better as we're doing it as well. So, yeah, I think we're doing fantastically well.
Yeah, and looking at Saturday's game, injury-wise, anyone missing from this week?
Just Dion's probably again too soon. Yeah, recovering really well. He's going to be probably starting back out training with the lads around the 27th, yeah, so next Monday, yeah.
Yeah, and a quick word on Notts County on Tuesday night. Tough trip, obviously, we know, but you performed well there in the FA Cup. Are you confident going there again?
Yeah, I haven't really thought about it. Obviously, concentrating, fully focused on Saturday's game. But yeah, another one we'll look forward to. You know, we played well there in the FA Cup. Obviously, didn't get the result we wanted, but no, we enjoyed that game, and we'll be taking the positives from that when we prepare for that game.
Excellent. Thanks, Scott.
Thank you.
Liam, thank you for joining us. After a tough trip to Barrow last weekend, we've got a chance to bounce back with 3 points against Harrogate. Can I get your thoughts ahead of that one?
Yeah, one to look forward to, being back at home. We've got quite a good home record so far this season. We seem to do really well at home. So yeah, an opportunity to get 3 points and one we're all looking forward to.
Yeah, our home record has been very impressive. We've always spoke to the gaffer about, you know, how when he came here as manager, he said it was a very hard place to come. I'm sure you felt that as a player as well. What is it, do you think, about our home record that, you know, well, not necessarily the home record, but what is it about playing here that makes it so hard to sort of pick up results?
I think the fans play a big part, especially when we're doing well. They really get behind us and obviously make it hard for opposition. And obviously playing at home is always an advantage. We sort of know the ground, and the way we play helps us. The pitch is good. So I just think it's a really good place to play, especially with the way we're playing.
Yeah, and I suppose after Saturday's result, it's just a case of sort of picking ourselves up. I'm sure the gaffer's had lots of meetings with you already and sort of assessed it. It's a long journey home. It's a difficult pitch to play on, obviously. Is there sort of any feelings, having, had a few days to reflect on it?
Yeah, like you said, we watched it back on Tuesday now. Spoke about things that we need to improve on. But again, I think going away to Barrow is probably one of the most difficult places in the league. I don't think many teams will come out there with much. But again, like you said, watching it back, we are disappointed with how we played, really. But again, another opportunity to bounce back on Saturday.
Yeah, and Barrow were obviously having a great season so far, and they've continued their good record. And I suppose, Saturday's game is just a chance to bounce back. We've been really impressive at home, and I'm sure the lads are just eager to get out there and sort of, not necessarily put things right, because we've had some good performances of late, haven't we?
Yeah, like you said, another opportunity. I think the lads are just raring to go now. It's never nice when you lose. We sort of won the week before Aki and thought we could go on a little bit of a run, but happens in football, you lose games. So again, it's just another chance to bounce back and get 3 points.
And how have you been feeling, physically? Because you've played every game in the league so far, and I'm pretty sure you've almost played every cup game as well. So it must be pretty demanding and pretty sort of, physical challenge.
No, I've enjoyed it. You know what I mean? Everyone loves playing games, so as many as I can play, I just want to play in every game. Long may it continue, touch wood, no injuries. And I've been lucky, to be fair, throughout my career. I've never really had muscle injuries or anything. So, I'm just raring to go in every game.
Thank you, Liam.
Yeah. Well, Liam, talking about your style of play and that, Scott said recently after the Accrington Stanley game that you are probably one of the best defenders in the club. There was a great moment in that Accrington game where you did a tackle right in front of the crowd, right at the back, and everybody went cheered and that, and you looked like you sort of celebrated a bit. Is defending a big part of your game, and do you enjoy that part?
Yeah, I guess it has to be, playing in the middle of the pitch. I think it's probably one of the positions where you've got to have a little bit of everything. If I can help out, I help out. I probably defend in a different way to how the back four defend in a way. I've got to try and read the game and break up play, so I do it in my own way. But it's nice for the gaffer to say that.
Yeah, absolutely. And regarding because we've had a few injuries this year with Dion, Ben, Kellen, etc. And I think you missed a game with your head injury and that. How impressed have you been with the way the players who have come in, the sort of more squad players come in and sort of fitted in perfectly?
Yeah, credit to the gaffer and his coaching staff, really, with the way we're... I guess it starts with pre-season, the way we've set up in terms of how he wanted us to play. I think everyone's taken on board the position that they play in and the role, what it takes to play in the role. Credit to the gaffer for that, and obviously credit to the boys that maybe don't play as much and now when they get the chance take it. I guess Lolas is a prime example. Start of the season he was coming on or getting a game here and there, but now he's come into the team probably the last 5-6 games and been one of our best players, and everyone can see now his quality, so long may that continue. Yeah,
and looking at the league table, you're 5 points off the playoffs, but on the flip side there's 5 points between you and 20th place. I mean, that shows how tight this league is, and obviously you played in it last season. Is it a better standard this year, do you think, or just better teams in the league?
I guess we're only 16 games in, so it's always going to be this tight. It's a strong league from top to bottom. There's no easy game in this league, but I think that's every year, so I can't compare it to last year, but it's a strong league. Yeah.
And I've spoken to Scott and a couple of other players about targets and ambitions this year. They've said you've got your targets, ambitions, but they haven't sort of said publicly what they are. They're keeping it within the group. Do you think, even though we don't know what they are, you obviously do you think you're still on target to achieve those ambitions and targets this season?
Yeah, I guess we just take it game by game, really. That's all you can do in football. There's no point in looking too far ahead, because that's, once you get ahead of yourself, that's when things start to turn in a bad way. So we just take it game by game. We're confident going into every game that we can win. So that's the main objective, going into every game. And that starts on Saturday,
Yeah. And obviously January's coming around very quickly. January transfer window is open. Is there anything that you think that the squad needs in that January window, or do you think the squad is pretty good where we are?
No, for me, I'd be happy with that, but obviously that's down to the gaffer and the coaching staff to analyse what we might need, or that's just down to them, and us as players have just got to play and train very well, and I guess we'll see when it comes to January.
Yeah, thanks, Liam.
No worries.